I used to believe that vacations were meant to pause time, that if you took your family far enough from home, away from routines and stress, you could remember who you were to each other before life hardened you. That's what this trip to the sea was supposed to be. A reset. A reward for surviving another hard year together. I remember standing on the balcony the first night, listening to the waves, watching my wife unpack our bags with that familiar efficiency, and thinking that this was the woman I had chosen to grow old with. We had been married for 11 years. Not perfect years, but honest ones, or so I believed. We had inside jokes, shared memories, and the quiet comfort that comes from knowing someone's habits by heart. I trusted her without effort. I trusted us. The days started gently. Morning walks along the shore, coffee in paper cups, our feet sinking into wet sand. I watched her laugh with our child, her hair pulled back, sunlight catching her face, and felt that quiet pride of a husband who thinks he did something right with his life. If there were cracks, I didn't see them yet. Or maybe I didn't want to. By the third day, something shifted. Nothing obvious, just small absences. She lingered behind when we walked back to the hotel. She checked her phone more often, angling the screen away from me. At night, she stayed up later than usual, saying she couldn't sleep, stepping out onto the balcony alone. I told myself she was tired. We both were. Travel does that. Marriage does that. I had no interest in becoming suspicious. I've always hated that version of a man, the one who looks for betrayal everywhere. I believed trust was a choice you renewed daily. So I renewed it, even when she started volunteering to run errands alone, even when her laughter seemed to belong to another room, even when I felt, inexplicably, like a guest in my own vacation. One evening, after our child had fallen asleep, I reached for her in bed and felt her stiffen before relaxing again. She said she had a headache. I rolled onto my side and stared at the dark, annoyed with myself for feeling rejected. I reminded myself that long marriages have quiet nights, that intimacy changes shape, that love doesn't disappear just because it pauses. The moment that broke, everything wasn't dramatic. There was no screaming or confrontation. It was late. She was in the shower. Her phone buzzed on the nightstand. I wouldn't have looked if it hadn't buzzed again. And again. The name wasn't saved, just a number. A message preview lit up the screen. I can't stop thinking about last night. My first thought was that I was misreading it. That context would save me. I unlocked the phone with a familiarity that now feels humiliating. I scrolled. I didn't read everything. I didn't need to. There were enough words to redraw my entire understanding of the last few days. Enough timestamps to confirm that while I was sleeping, or brushing my teeth, or reading bedtime stories, my wife was building another version of herself with someone else. Someone she met here, on this trip, in this place that was supposed to belong to us. I put the phone back exactly where it was. I sat on the edge of the bed and felt something hollow open in my chest. When she came out of the bathroom, wrapped in a towel, humming softly, I looked at her and felt nothing recognizable. She noticed immediately, asked what was wrong. I said nothing. That night, I lay beside her listening to the ocean and understood for the first time how betrayal can coexist with normality. The next days were unbearable in their normalcy. We still went to the beach. We still ate meals together. I watched her smile at me across the table, watched her tuck our child into bed, watched her live as if nothing had happened. I felt like I was observing my life from underwater. Everything muted, everything slow. I didn't confront her right away. I needed time to understand what I had seen, what it meant, what it took from me. The confrontation happened on the balcony after midnight, when the air was heavy and the waves loud enough to hide our voices. I told her I knew. I didn't accuse. I didn't raise my voice. I just said the truth. She went very still. Then she cried. Then she denied. Then she cried harder. Then she admitted enough to hurt me without admitting everything. She said it didn't mean anything. She said it was a mistake. She said she felt invisible and wanted to feel wanted. None of it repaired the image I couldn't erase, her choosing someone else while standing beside me in a place meant for family memories. I asked her how long. She said it started here. I asked if it was physical. She nodded. I asked why. She said she didn't know. That answer hurt more than the rest, because it meant there was no reason I could fix. After that night, I stopped sleeping. I lay awake, listening to the sounds of a hotel full of strangers, wondering how many other people were quietly losing their lives in rooms like ours. I thought about marriage, about how much of it is faith, about how easily that faith can be dismantled by a few messages and a moment of weakness. I thought about our child, about what it means to protect them when the danger is inside the family. I thought about myself, about the man I was before this trip, and how naive he suddenly seemed. When we came home, nothing felt like home anymore. The walls knew too much. The bed felt like evidence. We talked. We argued quietly. We cried in turns. I moved into the guest room. We started therapy, not because I was sure I wanted to save the marriage, but because I needed language for what had happened to me. I learned that betrayal isn't just about sex or lies. It's about consent, about having your reality rewritten without your permission. I don't know yet how this story ends. I don't know if I will stay or leave. I only know that something ended at the sea, even if it took me weeks to admit it. If I've learned anything, it's this. Betrayal doesn't always arrive as a storm. Sometimes it comes quietly, disguised as a vacation, wearing the face of the person you trust most. And by the time you realize you're drowning, everyone else is still taking pictures of the view.